All right, welcome back to the channel. So how do you get out of a rut and start propelling your life forward, right? How do you start getting some wins under your belt and actually making some progress towards your goals and achieving your goals, right? In general. So how do you get some forward momentum in your life? Well, I mean, there's no magic formula. It really just comes down to planning, execution, and belief, right? At first, whenever you start most things, I'd say, there's a learning curve, right? There's a period of resistance where your old habits are trying to hold you back from developing, the new habits that you're trying to put into your life, right? So if you, for example, are just starting to work out, I can tell you from experience that the first 2 to 3 months are the toughest. If you're able to stay consistent and if you're able to overcome the hurdles that are presented in that time frame, then the next thing you know is that you get to a point where it becomes more of a lifestyle and it becomes less of a chore to do, right? You get into this flow state, you get into this state of just execution, right? So it really just boils down to that. Making a plan, making, actionable steps, making it as simple as possible for yourself, and then just taking action. If you have a strong enough reason to why you want to achieve something, or if you have a strong enough vision of where you want to be, it doesn't matter what gets in your way. You're just gonna run through it, right? Whenever the times get tough, whenever difficult moments arise, you're going to think about the reasons as to why you started in the first place. So that is absolutely essential to have, if you want to achieve a certain goal for yourself, right? So it really just comes down to that. Working hard, having belief in yourself, having a plan, and just daily execution, right? Doing the daily menial tasks that are required in order for you to move forward. And that's really it, I'd say. Improving yourself 0.01% each day. And over time, all those wins start adding up. The progress becomes evident, and that just propels you even more to continue doing what you're doing. Don't beat yourself up if you mess up one day, or, if you have a bad day every once in a while. It's going to happen. But as long as the good days, quote unquote, right, overshadow the bad days, as long as the percentage of good days is a lot higher than the percentage of bad days, then, you're doing what you're supposed to do, then just focus on that, right? Focus on the day's work. Focus on what you need to do for that day and how it's going to get you closer to your goal. There's a quote that I often think about, and it's very true, and I can tell you from experience that it's very true. It's the quote of, you're either building positive momentum or you're building negative momentum. And this is very true. If you're stacking up wins, if you're doing positive things for yourself and for others, if you're just heading in a positive direction in general, you tend to stay in that direction, and it tends to build upon those things, right? It tends to build up. And the opposite is also true. If you're doing things that you're not supposed to do, if you're stuck in a rut, if you're stuck in a negative cycle, that's the spiral that you tend to be in, right? So be very mindful of the actions that you take. Be very mindful of the words you speak. Be very mindful of the self-talk that you give yourself, right? You can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Your mind can be the sharpest sword, in your favor, or it could be a two-edged sword that doesn't really help you out in times of need, right? So I encourage you to keep this quote in mind whenever you're taking action for yourself, right? Whenever you're taking action towards a goal or whatever it may be. I personally think about this quote a lot because it's very true. Just think about it. Let's say you wake up in the morning and you decide to eat a healthy breakfast, right? The healthy breakfast gives you the energy and clarity to work hard throughout the day. It gives you, solid energy throughout the day, and I don't know, it could boost you to work out that day. And after the workout and a good meal, you know, you have even more motivation, right? Working out releases endorphins and, you know, feel good chemicals in your brain, and that just motivates you even more to work hard in your goals. And you can see how this just spirals upward. So the opposite is also true, right? Let's say instead of eating that healthy breakfast, you decide to, I don't know, eat an unhealthy one. That just puts your mood down, your energy levels down, right? You crash after your breakfast, so you skip the workout that you were going to do for that day, and you just kind of lay in your bed all day, and you don't really accomplish anything. And you can see how it builds up. So the quote again is, you're either in an upward spiral or a downward spiral, and you have the choice. So if you made it this far in the channel, thank you so much for listening. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I make videos on self-improvement. I just share advice, you know, from personal experiences that I've had that hopefully will be of some use to somebody out there. So once again, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.